Hello, hello, hello to everybody here in the Daily Antidote of Song. Welcome to Saturday of our Freedom Week. We are so excited that you're here with us. We are so excited that you're joining us along with all of our friends out there on Facebook Live. Everybody wave, hi, Facebook. Hi, Facebook. We're so glad that you're here too. Even though we don't see you, we know you're there, and we're always happy to have you joining us. So now let's say hello to everybody in this room all together. First of all, hello to our fearless leader, Joe Rossi. We love you. Hello to our amazing artist of the day. He's no stranger here. You know him, you love him, Jim Harkless. We're going to hear more from Jim in just a little bit. A big hello to Delhi, still connecting to audio. Hello to Arlene in Berkeley, California. Hello to Becky in BC. Hello to Susan G. Hello to Margot in Brazil. Hello to Deborah. Hi, hi, hi. Hello to Susan S. Again, that doesn't narrow it down much. We have so many Susan friends in our rooms, but one of our Susan S's, one of our several. Hello to Mabel in Massachusetts and Cinnamon Bear #1. Hello to Dan in Vienna, Virginia. Hello to Brian. Hello to Trish in Victoria. Hello to Sheila in Florida. Christiana and Bob back home. Is that back home? Yeah, back home. That's awesome. Hello to Toby and in Alone. Is that how you say it? I think it is, maybe. I'm not sure. No, it's not how you say it. Oh well, I can't read the whole entire stretch of some of the names are too long to fit even on a little Zoom square. Hello to Johnny. Hello to Kevin. So good to see you. Hello to Kathleen in Albuquerque. Hello to Dick in Victoria, BC. Ohlone. Perfect, Ohlone. Learn something new every day. Hello to Shari in New Hampshire with a beautiful drum, and hello to Carolyn with a beautiful kitty cat. Oh, so pretty. Look, look, look. Oh my gosh. Hello to Kathy in Virginia. Hello to Sarah in Texas. Hello to Beverly. Hi. Hello to Harriet in Illinois. Hello to Amanda and Miles in Michigan. Hello to Bonnie in Boise, Idaho. Hello to Cliff and Lynn in Vermont. Hello, hello to Luda and Mark in Victoria, BC. We have so many people joining us today. This is so lovely and wonderful. Hello to Steve and Michelle. Hello to Susan in Seattle. Hello to Anne. Oh, everyone's moving. Oh no. Hello to Anne in Maryland. Hello to Ruth in Birmingham, England. Hello to Jane in Texas. Hello to Al with his guitar already fiddling away, or guitaring away, I suppose. Hello to Cricket. Hello to Nancy and her beautiful Irish cow. Hello to Trish in Victoria. Hello to Aloysius walking somewhere out with that big, beautiful blue sky. Hello to Sandy in the Yukon. Hello, hello to Miriam, to Harriet in Illinois. Okay, let's see, who have I not gotten yet? Hello to Ray Rossi, our wonderful leader, Joe's mother. She's got to have a great mom if she's as great as she is. Hello to Busy Graham, one of our other fearless leaders here at Carpe Diem Arts. Thank you so much for being here. Hello to Louise, Loriana, Katina, Courtney. Hello to Sarah. Hello to Joni and Margaret. And I think that I got everybody, but if not, then I will be sure to get you on the goodbyes. And now, I think it is about time to introduce one of the best people we could possibly have for our Freedom Week, someone who has sung with us so many times before. Please welcome back to the Daily Antidote of Song, Jim Harkless. Take it away, Jim.
Hello, am I on or not? I can't.
You are on. We read you loud and clear.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to see so many of you that I know so well, and we've become great friends. And I don't like to single out anybody because there's so many people uh, that I love. But I just have to say hi to Miles in Michigan, who's one of my favorite people, and his mom. And I'm from Michigan myself, so that's one of the reasons. And every time I'm on, he and his mom are there. Uh, Today, I'm going to do the song that I think most of you may be familiar with, "Oh Freedom." So I don't think we really need to practice it. I'll sing the first verse, and then you can come in on the next verses, and I'll be singing it at my own tempo first, and then we'll pick it up and make it a little bit more lively when you come in. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, there no more moaning, no more moaning, no more moaning over me. And before I be a slave, I be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Yes, there'll be shouting, there'll be shouting, there'll be shouting over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. And there'll be singing, there'll be singing, there'll be singing over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Woo! Jim Harkless, it is always so amazing to have you here in our space. Let's give it up again for Jim Harkless. Beautiful voice, always picks the right song, and brings so much beautiful energy into our space. Jim, thank you so much for being here with us today. And do you want to talk a little bit about the song and sort of why you picked it, or would you like to chat a little bit about freedom in your own life and the way that it's been, affected you and been part of your goals?
Well, this song is attributed to, so far as we know, it was begun to be sung right after the Civil War. So it's a post-Civil War song, and of course it expresses the uh, desire for freedom to be able to be on your own and not under the yoke of anyone else. And by saying, before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave, it, it's, it expresses how terrible it was to be an enslaved person. And be better to be dead than to live in those circumstances. Uh, though the song became very popular during the civil rights movement in the 60s, and Joan Baez actually sang it at the March on Washington in 1963, and Odetta also recorded it. Uh, and the Freedom Singers, the SNCC Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee in 1964 during Freedom Summer, sang this along with many other songs of freedom. You heard a wonderful one yesterday uh, by the song leader and the history there of Bernice Reagan when she was part of that movement. And in June of that year, so many terrible things happened, and people have tended to forget that it was an interracial movement. The SNCC group was primarily African Americans, but they relied upon the support mainly of white students who came down to Mississippi from the north. And James Chaney, Andrew Goodwin, and Michael uh, Sherner were kidnapped and murdered by the hateful white people at that time. And unfortunately, we're continuing to see those vestiges of hate even today.
Yes, indeed. It's been definitely a long struggle in our nation, and with so many iterations, so many powerful people coming through at different times, bringing their own messages. And you specifically talked about, the ideas of the songs of the movement, and what we were also talking about with Kim yesterday. And actually, what we were talking with Anais Azul about the day before that, because Anais was doing a song that she had written herself, but she pointed out that it would be potentially a marching song or a movement song for a movement, that is coming next potentially. And like that idea that all of us can bring these songs out to the places where we're going, where the power of song is needed, which is kind of everywhere, and make it part of the what supports us all while we're out there fighting for something good. Do you want to talk for a minute about your work as an arbitrator and the ways in which that overlaps with freedom?
Well, I was I was an arbitrator for 50 years, and before that, actually, I've actually in my life from the very from college and law school and throughout my life, I've tried to do things to bring about change. Af- After law school as a young lawyer in Boston, I belonged to the Congress on Racial Equality, and I uh, was involved with the National uh, Association for Colored People, NAACP. Uh, when I came to Washington, I continued to be active. I was asked, one of the things that I am most proud of is in 1964, when I was a young lawyer at the National Labor Relations Board, I actually was the first African American appellate court attorney with the National Labor Relations Board, which presented cases for the board in court, in federal court. Uh, and Hobart Taylor Jr., who people don't know about, was counsel for uh, Lyndon Johnson, President Johnson. Hobart was from Houston, Texas, which was my mother's hometown. And he also moved to Detroit, so he knew me in Detroit and that background. He called me up and asked me to go to Customs. He said that the president was setting up an equal opportunity program in every agency, and he asked me to go there to head up that program. And in 2 years, I was able to uh, increase the number of African American employees uh, twofold, and and moved many of them up the ladder. The first female, black female customs inspector was hired in Baltimore uh, during those years. And Ebony magazine in December 1965 wrote a story about the progress. I think it was called Customs Makes Progress. And we made a hell of a lot of progress in 2 years. I'm very proud of that. And as an arbitrator, of course, I was in a position, not sometimes I was not able to. As an arbitrator, you're like a judge, and you have to be fair. So if someone's uh, case was not a good case, I couldn't rule in their favor. But I think I was a more. I'd actually for in my early years as an arbitrator, I was an arbitrator with Ford Motor Company and the United Automobile Workers. And growing up in Detroit, my father I think he was the first black foreman at Ford Motor Company in the 1920s. And in the summers, I worked in the plant. Uh, the first summer of my after my freshman year, I worked in one area of the plant, and then my father died that next January, and then the next summer, just by chance, I worked in the foundry uh, where he had spent most of his life working, and where most of the black employees worked. It was extremely horrible. Well, the working conditions were very difficult. Uh, my job, I worked on the furnace at the core making operation. The furnace was 1700 degrees. We would put the sand uh, cores into the oven. My partner and I would, and it was so hot that we would work 2 hours and we'd be off an hour. And at 19 years old, I thought that was kind of great to be able to do that. But the conditions were difficult. Uh, but throughout
Jumping
my, yeah,
jumping off of the back of your legal career, it actually segues really perfectly into something else that's happening pretty soon, actually, which I think a lot
yeah,
of people in this room know about, is that we're coming up on the Washington Christmas Revels, which is going to look very different this year than it ever has before, but in a really exciting way. And actually, believe it or not, people who have seen Washington Christmas Revels before, this year it's all about law. Really, it is. Jim, can you tell us a little bit more about what that's going to look like this year and what you're doing with the
well,
Christmas Rebels?
actually, it ties in with the song that we have today because it takes place in 1870 uh, during the Reconstruction period. And the setting is the home in Washington, D.C. of uh, Hiram Revels, Senator Hiram Revels, who was the first black African American senator.
You can't make this
Uh,
stuff up.
yeah, and there will be distinguished people from that period, and I will be playing the part of a African American who I did not know about, and most of us don't know about George Moses Horton, who was born in 1798, not far from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, as a slave, uh, and he taught himself to read and started composing poems. And when he was sent into Chapel Hill to sell groceries into the university and its people in that area, he would recite his poems, and the students could see that he was very bright, and they actually gave him books. And in 1829, he uh, published his first book, a book of poems called "The Hope of Liberty."
So
And
you truly are playing a character who is experiencing freedom in like its most basic and I don't know, it's just like its most fundamental sense, like truly experiencing both physical, legal, and intellectual freedom for the first time. That's just absolutely incredible.
right, the ironic thing about Horton is that at the time that he wrote the book, he had to dictate it because he couldn't write. and then he learned how to write. Uh, they actually, the abolitionists published the book, and they were hoping to purchase his slavery, his freedom. I think enough money was made, but the owner would not accept the money. So he was not released from slavery until 1865, when the Emancipation Proclamation was passed.
I suppose freedom can't be bought, but it can be won. Well, we actually will get the chance, anybody who goes to see either in person this amazing show, or it will be available online streaming, and we will be able to watch it that way. So no matter where you are in the world, you can see Jim in this show, and you're going to recognize a lot of other friends as well, because a lot of the cast of Jubilee Voices are also in this show. And so we're going to see all of our Jubilee Voices friends. They are fantastic. We love them, and they're going to make this show so much better. I believe that the tickets have not gone on sale yet for the general public. I think they're still doing priority tickets for certain donors and things like that. But as soon as they go on sale, we'll be sure to let you know. And now let's turn it back over to Joe for a minute.
Hey, thank you, Erin, and thank you so much, Jim. It's so amazing. I can't wait for this show and to get a chance to see you. And of course, Betsy Fulford and Andrea Blackford, who've been in this room with us so many times, have a lot to do with the music and the show this year, being both the music director and the artistic director. And so I think that it will be really, really amazing to get a chance to be involved in it, virtually or otherwise. I do want to shout out a quick hello to some faces I think are new in the room today. I'm not sure, but Margot and Beverly and Mary Helen, if I've met you before, I'm so sorry, but it's great to have you. For you and any other new people, you're welcome to stay afterwards for a quick chat. We'd love to find out how people heard about us and tell you how to stay in touch with us and all the rest. And just a little FYI for you and everybody out there on Facebook, we are in a Freedom Week right now with one more day. Jim is our Saturday, and we have one more day tomorrow. And then we switch to a Friendship Week with lots of amazing singers coming and leading us in song, including Amanda and Miles' great friend Phil Hogue is going to be singing with us. And our flyer is actually ready early. Everybody take a deep breath with that, right? Like, when do we ever get anything done early around here? So our flyer will be in tomorrow's email, if it wasn't already in today's, so you can start letting people know about it. A whole week of singing about friendship, quite honestly, when we're in this space where we are all a bunch of friends, many of us who've never met. It just feels like the just right thing. And to segue it back over to Jim Harkless and to Freedom, Jim Harkless, it's been so amazing to be able to become your friend in the way that we have this year. And I honestly, the idea of being in a Christmas Revels space with you being one of the lead singers is just so exciting. And I'm just super, super excited. And can't wait to hear you sing again. How about now? Would you like to do the song again?
Yes, and I will say that the new people that you mentioned are some friends of mine that whom I'm glad to see were able to join us.
That's awesome. Hello, friends of Jim. Well, then you're already friends of ours too. Beautiful.
And I regret that I can't keep up with all the wonderful comments that are being put in the chat.
We'll send them to you later.
All right, I'd love to, because I can't follow them. But let's just, I don't know whether you want to do the whole thing, or
let's do the whole thing here.
Okay. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Then no more mourning, no more moaning, no more moaning over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. They'll be shouting, they'll be shouting, they'll be shouting over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. They'll be singing, they'll be singing, they'll be singing over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Woo!
Thank you, everybody.
I can almost hear the choir of choruses and harmonies behind you. That's how much power your voice has to me. I can hear it all. Thank you so much, Jim. That was beautiful and amazing. And what a wonderful teaser trailer for all of the fantastic work we're going to get to see from you, Jubilee Voices, and the rest of the cast of the Christmas Rebels pretty soon. We're getting to it. That's not too far away. All right, everybody, I think it is just about that time to let you all go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I hope it's beautiful where you are. It's certainly beautiful where I am. And we just can't wait to see you again tomorrow for the last day of our Freedom Week before we dive headfirst into our Friendship Week right after that. So first of all, a huge goodbye and thank you to Jim Harkless. We love you. You sure do know how to reach deep, and it is always just such a pleasure to have you in here. It makes our day. It makes our week. So thank you to Jim. And of course, a big goodbye and thank you to everybody out there on Facebook Live. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to join us in the room whenever you want, or continue joining us on Facebook Live. We love you. Bye.